To be honest, I feel like a lot of men give themselves too much pressure to perform, right? They feel like they need to go to a certain time limit, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes to feel like a king,
An
right? But
hour.
do women actually care about that? Yeah, an hour plus, right? They drink all sorts of concoctions just to be able to keep up.
Sex is for different reasons. So depending on why you want to have that encounter, you might want it to be kind of like an afternoon, we're laying in bed, just kind of rubbing on each other, we're just feeling each other kind of afternoon. Or is it a, hey honey, I woke up this morning, I gotta get me some. And you get in there and you get it done, you get out. Um, there's angry sex where it's like, man, I'm so mad. Get over here. Just
So how long does great sex last? That is the question I'm going to attempt to answer in today's video, and I'm not going to do that alone. Of course not. I mean, what were you thinking? I'm going to be joined by my favorite APRN, Lily Harmon. It's been a while since we had her on the channel, but I'm excited that she can join us today. Lily, so good to see you. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back.
All right, well, it's good to see you again. And, people have been asking, when are you bringing Lily back? So today is that day. And for such a very important conversation as well. How long does great sex last? So before you answer it, or before we even delve into that conversation, I think well, maybe a better question to start off a video like this would be, how would you define sex, right? Because for a lot of people, as we all know, it's probably the final act where a penis enters a vagina. End of story. There's coitus interruptus at some point if you don't want to have kids. And then, it pretty much happens in that order. But really, when we talk about sex, in your opinion, what exactly are we talking about? Does foreplay count? Is there anything else that happens afterwards? Talk to me.
Foreplay is always a good idea, just because of the nature of sex. Because women are more like a warming oven, and men are more like an electric stove where it's like on, bam, done. So unless you're about to have it with a woman who's been thinking about it kind of all day, and you get home and she pounces on you, then great. But if that's not the case, then you probably want to warm her up, um, throughout the day, really, or just keep your relationship at that kind of level. Just kind of always, tap her on the butt, send those texts, keep it warm all the time. It helps. Make your relationship that kind of relationship. It comes in handy.
So I guess, what we're really saying is for men to like really maybe win at the intimacy game, they need to look beyond just that maybe 2, 3, 4, maybe if you're lucky, 5 minutes of intercourse, right?
Correct. Absolutely.
Do you
Absolutely.
feel like there is unfair pressure, though, when it comes to sexual intercourse on men, where they seem to be the ones to determine the duration of the act?
Yes. But I see that more in younger men who feel like they have something to prove. Um, there's an aspect of maturity that allows other men to realize, hey, it's not just the in out, shake it all about, and it's over. It's it's the quality of the time you're spending. So I find maturity in a relationship versus the younger men, there's a difference there.
Right. In your opinion, though, what makes sex satisfying?
Sex is more than just, or it should be if it isn't, it is more than just orgasms at the end. There's a thing called tantric sex that I'd read about, which in fact involves no orgasm at all, but it's like a time where the couple is satisfying needs over a period of time, and they're both just in there and it feels good and they're just enjoying it, and there's no gotta hurry up and get to that, or I have to get him to come, or I have to get her to come. kind of pressure. So there's that.
Shouldn't women also be contributing, to the duration, so to speak? I mean, there are things that women can do that would make their men last longer. For instance, certain sex positions, sexual games prior to the act and whatnot.
If that's what you want, then yes. See, the problem has been that people go in to like have that release and then they're done. So sex is this, starting line. We were there. How long did it take you? Kind of thing. And I guess I'm coming from the angle of it. It really shouldn't be. There is a way of having sexual satisfaction all the time. It doesn't have to be when you're going to have the act or when you're in the act or when you're, it can be an all the time. When your relationship is mature and you're living that kind of life, you're kind of in each other's arms all the time. You're touching each other. It it's an all the time thing. If you're around each other, your hands are just on each other, not in a lewd way. It's tasteful. It's kind of subtle, but your partner knows and you know. That's kind of beautiful. It's better than the, starting line. It's up, let's go. How long did it take? Or did you come? No, you didn't. Oh, dang, now I have to go work hard. Kind of thing. I guess I'm just saying there's more to it than just in and out.
Do you feel like men are under more pressure to deliver than women?
Sometimes. Sometimes there are some women who understand, like they understand the assignment and they're mature and confident enough in themselves. So they go in and get what they can get from it and they're good. Um, but normally it's been the men who are like, well, you're not lasting long enough, or um, whatever it is society has come up with when it comes to things like that. It's unfair to men.
I completely agree. So, in terms of what women actually want when it comes to sex, to be honest, I feel like a lot of men give themselves too much pressure to perform, right? They feel like they need to go to a certain time limit, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes to feel like a king,
An
right? But
hour.
do women actually care about that? Yeah, an hour plus, right? They drink all sorts of concoctions just to be able to keep up. And I'm saying, from your opinion as a woman, one, a healthcare provider, two, do you get the general sense of what actually women expect when it comes to sex that men need to be mindful of, such that they don't give themselves that much pressure?
A woman feels good when she feels loved. Feeling loved isn't always a physical thing. Feeling loved, it comes through in how you talk to her, what you say to her, your interaction. So women want to feel, men want to feel loved too, of course. But you're asking about women, so we want to feel loved, and of course that, like I said, comes from all angles of a relationship: physical, emotional, financial, even, um, taking care of her. She wants to feel loved. And usually I find when all of these things are being done, it's easier to go from that platform to the, hey, let's jump in the bed, or hey, how about this? Hey, do you want to play? So definitely
Right.
want to feel loved globally,
Okay.
not just in one way.
Globally. All right. And do you think women have like an ideal time or duration in mind when it comes to sex? Because, and it's important that we answer this question, because a lot of men feel like there should be a set time. Like if you do 2 minutes and below, you are a loser, right? But is that actually the case? Do women feel like that?
There are immature women who feel like that. There are mature women who actually know their body well enough to, while the man is getting his, she's getting hers. So they get there at the same time, or you might even find that woman that gets there before you. So if she gets there in 2 minutes and you're still banging away and you're taking too long, then it's like, dude, could you just, you know? So the time thing, I find it's more with the youth, the younger people. They're like, yeah, 3 minutes is not enough, isn't it? Do you know what you're doing? Do you even like what you're doing? Um, but yeah, we're gonna have to revisit this because there's different kinds of sex. There's and sex is for different reasons. So depending on why you want to have that encounter, you might want it to be kind of like an afternoon. We're laying in bed, just kind of rubbing on each other, we're just feeling each other, kind of afternoon. Or is it a hey honey, I woke up this morning, I gotta get me some, and you get in there and you get it done, you get out. Um, there's angry sex where it's like, man, I'm so mad. Get over here. Just like those take maybe 2, 3 minutes at most. Um, if a woman grabs you for angry sex, you better be ready. You may or may not get there by the time that she does. When she's done, she's done. Then you get to feel how women feel when you're done. But yeah, you're trying to pull me into like a time, but it's hard to. Um, um, as far as anatomically and medically or clinically, there's a kind of a 3 to 7 minute um, expectation, or if you, and I hate using the word normal because everybody's so different, but normally 3 to 7 minutes is the time for both, really. And in a case like that, you're talking about two people who know their body well enough to get into the act, get what they need or want from it, and be done and satisfied.
Right. So, can I safely say, to answer the question that we asked at the beginning of this video, how long should great sex last? Are we talking about 3 to 7 minutes as maybe the go-to?
We can use that.
Okay. And what about women who do feel unsatisfied during that period, or men who experience, for instance, something like premature ejaculation? And that happens for various reasons. We know anxiety, whatever. Um, what about them?
Let's go with the guys first. So just because you had an orgasm doesn't mean it has to be over. You can still do other things to get your woman to where she needs to be if she's trying to get there. So just because you got in, hit it, got done, you're like not coming back up for air. There's other things you can do to get your woman to climax. So there's that.
Okay. And for the women who don't seem to be satisfied, what do they do? Because if your man can't get it up, he can't get it up. Should you, for instance, are sex toys an option? Would you
Absolutely,
say?
sex toys are an option. In fact, I think it should be like a normal part of the encounter. Make it part of the encounter all the time. Because once, if he's a 2 minute, 1 minute, or in out kind of guy, he can stay and play with you, get you there with your toys or with whatever he uses or can use. Um, and again, you're talking about people who know each other's bodies.
There are some men who would rather not hear anything about sex toys. They completely dislike it. They feel like it's
Oh, that's
competition,
heartbreaking.
unfair competition. What do you think about that?
Guys, seriously, no. There's no competition. There's no competition because you are a warm blooded human being with a beating heart. Why would you want to compete with an inanimate object? Seriously, it's an inanimate object. It doesn't have blood. It's not warm. It's cold. Yeah, it does weird things, but you're human. You're better than that. No competition.
I agree. I completely agree.
So it's the woman's duty to let the man know that this is not competition. If anything, it's here to enhance both of our journeys. So women, don't go buy enormous, you know, phalluses and make your man feel like he's worthless. That's not a phallus.
Right. Okay. Right. Well, thank you very much for, having this chat with me. It's just something that keeps showing up and popping up in, social conversations and in DMs. And I thought today would be a good day to address that. So I think, we've pretty much touched on it. It is subjective, though, how long I think, great sex should last. Someone would say 2 minutes, they're fine. They want to go just one round. Another person will say, hey, it has to be at least 5 minutes and we need to do at least 3 times before I'm satisfied and it can go to bed. So it really depends on, you and your partner. My 2 cents. All right. Well, thank you very much, Lily Harmon, for swinging by. Certainly you shall swing by again.
Yes.
Well, good to know we can do this. So we'll be doing more of this for sure.
Yay.
And yeah, thanks again for your time. So send your questions to lilyOnCall21@gmail.com. Should be more than happy to answer them outside this platform. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash that like button as well, as it helps with the algorithm. My name is Jessica. We'll catch you again soon.